All right, let's get started on this. So number one, we got p squared plus 2pq plus q squared. And so it says when p equals -5 and q equals 7. So basically we're just plugging these things in. So where there's a p, we're going to put a -5, right? We just replace this. We're still squaring that, plus 2 times -5, and then our q is 7, plus our q, which is 7 squared. Okay. Now, -5 squared is positive 25. Remember, two negatives multiply together to make a positive, right? So then plus 2 times -5 is -10, plus or times 7 more is -70, right? Normally I write a -70, but and then we're going to do plus, and then 7 times 7, which is 7 squared, that's 49. Okay? So now we're just going to add 25 to 70, right? And that gives us 45, -45, right? And we're going to add that to 49. Anytime our numbers are opposites, we subtract and we take the value of the one that had the biggest absolute value. So this is going to be a 4. Okay? All right, number 2. We have x squared plus 4y over y plus 2z to the third plus 4. Once again, we're just plugging numbers in for what they are. Our x is 3, or -3, sorry, -3, and we're squaring that. Okay. Put it in parentheses. If I didn't put the negative in parentheses, then we'd end up with a -9 as a result of that. But this is going to give us a positive 9. So this is plus 4. There's y, and y is 1, right? And now we got y. We just said it was 1 plus 2, and then our z is -1. This is -1 to the third power plus 4. Okay? So you can imagine both these are in parentheses, so we can just kind of do them all in steps. So I'm going to take care of these exponents first. Now -3 times a -3 is a positive 9, and that's plus. Then we can go ahead and do the multiplication on there. Since we went ahead and did the exponents, that is just 4. Right? 4 times 1 is 4. And then on here we can do 1 plus, and now we can take care of this. Now -1 times -1 times -1, it's an odd number of negatives, so it gives us a -1. And then -1 times 2 is -2. I'm just going to keep that in parentheses, that way I don't merge my signs there. I don't want it to say plus minus 2. Okay, so we do 9 plus 4 is 13, and then we're going to add these up. This is 1 plus -2, which gives me a -1, plus 4 more is 3. And -1 plus 4 is 3. Okay, and this is our final answer. We try to reduce it if we could, but this is a fraction that cannot. All right, number 3. Okay. We have -4 and 9x minus 12y plus 3. So basically what we're going to do, and it says use the distribute property to clear away the parentheses. So basically what it's saying is we're taking this -4 and then we're distributing it into each one of these, right? All right. So we're doing -4 times 9x is going to be -36 Okay, so we just do multiplication on that, and then negative 4 times negative 12y is a positive 48y. Remember, a negative times a negative gives us a positive, and then negative 4 times positive 3 is negative 12. And we can't combine any more of those, so we are done with number 3. All right, number 4. We have 9 times 4y minus 4, okay, and minus 4y. Okay, so this says simplify by clearing parentheses and combining like terms. So it looks like we're going to have extra work to do after we distribute it, but we're going to distribute this 9 into this 5y, and then distribute the 9 into the negative 4. Okay? So 9 times 5 is 45y, okay, still got the y, and then 9 times negative 4 is negative 36, and then we just have our minus 4y. And we can combine these terms. These have similar y's, right? So this is 45 minus 4, which is 41y minus 36. We can't add that with it, okay, unlike terms. All right, so let's move on to 5. Okay, 5 says that we have 8 over 3 times 36z plus 27 minus 3 over 5 negative 40z plus 10. Okay. So we're going to have to distribute these fractions in there. Okay. One beauty about it is that these fractions are going to, or because these numbers are so big and they're multiples of things that can get multiplied by 3, we can reduce, so we can pretend like this is over 1. So basically, I'm going to, before I multiply, I'm going to reduce. Right? I can divide both these numbers by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 36 divided by 3 is 12. So all I'm doing is 8 times 12, which is 96z, right? And then I'm doing the same thing. It's basically I reset this 8 over 3, but still I'm dividing both these by 3, right? This 3 goes back to being a 1 again. And then 27 divided by 3 is 9. Okay? So I'm doing 8 times 9, right? Which is 72, so plus 72 minus, and now we're doing this again, right? And once again, we can pretend like this is over 1, right? So these reduce by 5. So this 5 divided by 5 becomes a 1. This negative 40 divided by 5 becomes a negative 8, right? Now when I'm multiplying these, I want to take this subtraction and treat it like it's the negative of this 3 now. So I'm doing negative 3 times negative 8, which is positive 24z. Okay? And then we're doing this again. This is going to reduce. We're dividing both these by 5. This becomes a 1 again. This becomes a 2. So then it's 2 times negative 3, which is minus 6. Right? Now I can combine like terms. This is similar with this. So I'm doing 96 plus 24, which is it's just 120, right? 120z. And then it's just 72 minus 6, which is 66. And that's it. So number 6. Okay, so we got 38 less. Now anytime it says 38 less, remember this goes at the end of our statement. Okay. Then twice the number. So what we're going to do, this is twice the number, so it's going to be 2, and it said let x represent it, so we're going to use x, and then 38 less than that, so this is minus 38. Okay, and that's just the expression that it wants. Okay, number 7. We got 4 and t minus 1 plus 3 equals 2 minus t plus 5. And it says solve the equation. So we're trying to figure out what t equals, I imagine. So we're going to distribute our 4 in here. So we get 4t minus 4. Remember, we're multiplying all that. We got plus 3. And then we're going to distribute the 2. So we get 2t plus 10. Make sure that you are multiplying when you're doing these. Okay. So now the only terms we can combine on these are not similar, and this one's not similar to any one of these, but we got a negative 4 and a positive 3, which gives us a negative 1. So we got 4t minus 1 equals 2t plus 10. Okay. So now we just need to move variables to one side and numbers to the other side, right? So I'm going to make my first decision on this, because I don't want to make a negative variable. I'm not a huge fan of that. But 4t minus 2t is 2t, and we can keep it minus 1. Usually, if you're working with me in my lab, I'll do this all in one step. That'll make it easier. So we're going to add 1 to both sides now. So that's 2t equals 11 now. Okay, and then we divide everything by 2 because we're multiplying 2 times t, so we do the opposite, which is divide by 2. So that's going to be our answer. T is 11 over 2. If you want to divide out that number, you could actually say that this is 5.5 as well. So either one of those work. He doesn't say that he wants it expressed in any certain term, so he should take that as your answer, whoever instructor is. Alright, so we got 2 times 5x plus 18 minus 84 equals 116. Okay. Minus 4, and then 3x minus 3. Okay. Almost running out of room on that. Okay. So we're going to distribute our 2 to each one of these. We're going to get 10x plus 36 minus 84 equals 116. And then we're distributing our negative 4, and we take that whole thing with us to each one of these. So we're going to get a negative 12x and then a positive 12. Okay. Now we combine like terms on each side. On this side we can do a 36 minus 84, right, which gives us a negative 48. This equals, and then we can combine these terms. It's just 116 plus 12, which is 128, right, minus 12x. Now from here I'm going to add my 12x. I'm trying to make this a positive exponent. I'm just a stickler about doing it that way. So now we got 22x minus 48 equals 128, right? And so now I'm just adding that 48 to the 28, right? And that's going to give me 176, right? So then we're just doing 22x equals 176, so we're going to divide by 22. Remember, that's being multiplied, so opposite is divide. I'm not sure if this comes out to be anything that's plain and easy, but it does. All right, so it does divide evenly, and it is 8. Okay. All right, so let's do number 9. All right, and this is half. Make sure you can see that. All right, half. Then we got 2n minus 5 plus 4 over 3 equals 5n over 6 minus 3 over 2. Okay, so we're going to distribute the half. Half of 2, right, is just 1. That's a 1n. We don't even really have to write the 1, so let's just erase it. We'll just call it an n. Okay, and then we can imagine this is 1, so it's just a negative 5 over 2. So minus 5 over 2. Okay, and then we get plus 4/3 equals 5n over 6 minus 3 half. Alright, one big thing I'd like to do when I have fractions in my problem is I like to multiply everything times the common denominator, just because I don't want to deal with fractions anymore. In my common denominator I can make, and we can pretend like this is over 1, right? So we got a 1, a 2, a 3, a 6, and a 2. And I know that I can multiply every single one of these to be 6, right? I can multiply this by 6, this by 3, this by 2, that by 1, and that by 3, and everything becomes a 6. Now what happens in this process, this one just gets multiplied. This is just 6n. But these, we're going to end up cross-reducing, which basically means we're dividing this number by this number, and then we're going to multiply it by that number. So we're doing 6 divided by 2, which is 3, and I'm doing 3 times negative 5, which is negative 15. Right? Do it again. So 6 divided by 3 is 2, and then 2 times 4 is 8. And then do it again. This just clears this away. This is 6 divided by 6, which is 1. And so it's just 1 times 5n, which is 5n. Okay? And then over here we do it again. So 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. Okay? And now we got a problem that's a lot easier to work with, right? So we can combine our like terms here, right? Negative 15 plus 5 is negative 7. This equals 5n minus 9, right? And so then I'm just going to subtract my 5n, and I'm really going to like what happens here, because this just becomes a n. Okay? And then I can add my 7 on both sides. And how I usually do it with most people, but negative 9 plus 7 is a negative 2. Okay. I would encourage you, I'm not going to do it on here, but to go back in and plug these things in on your exam. That way you know that you got the right answer, and just to double check your work. Okay. Alright, number 10 is 7z minus 12 plus 18z It almost looks like he got bored and wrote a whole bunch of numbers, right? going to be able to work on that side now that he wrote it so long. Alright, plus Z. Goodness. Alright, first things first, we can go ahead and distribute, right? We can also add like terms on this side too, so we can go ahead and take care of this business right here. So we got a 7Z plus a 18Z, which gives us a 25Z. Okay. And then we got negative 12 plus 8, which is a negative 4. Okay. So then we got 4, and then we're going to distribute this negative 4 in here, right? So we get a minus 20, right? And then this is a plus 24Z, and plus another Z. So then we can combine like terms on this side. We'll just keep this 25Z minus 4. We can combine our 20 and our 4, right? So it's 4 minus 20. Which gives us a negative 16. And then 24 plus Z is 25Z. Okay. Now I like to take care of my variables first. I'm going to minus my 25Z minus my 25Z, and now something strange happens, because now we're trying to say that negative 4 is equal to negative 16, and that's not the case. So this answer is a no solution. Right? We can also indicate that by saying it's a 0 with a line term. Okay. Number 11. And to explain what that one is, it just means that there isn't any number that we could put in that would make this equation work. Okay. Alright, so we got 2 times 4t minus 2 and negative 7t plus 5 plus 3 times 5t minus 3. Okay. Let's see what this turns out to be. So we're going to distribute again. We get 8t minus 4. Alright, and then negative 7t plus 5. And then we're going to distribute our 3, so we get 15t minus 9. Alright, we still got some like terms to add on that side, but on this side we still got our 8t minus 4. And we got negative 7t plus 15t, which is 8t. And then 5 minus 9 gives us a negative 4. Okay. Now it looks like we got a mirrored statement. If I minused out my 8t's, I'd end up getting negative 4 equals negative 4, which is a good statement. I like that. Negative 4 does equal negative 4. But what this tells us, when you have a mirrored statement like this, if we just decided to clear out the negative 4 first and had 8t equals 8t, and then we divided it by 8, we'd have t equals t. We could do it that way as well. Okay, but all this really means is that our solution set is all real numbers. That means we can take any number we like that's on the number line, plug it in here, and it will work, which is kind of fun. All right, number 12. Nice word problem, huh? All right, this says a 66-inch pipe must be cut into 3 pieces. The longest piece will be twice as long as the shortest piece, and the medium-sized piece will be 6 inches longer than the shortest piece. Find the length of the shortest piece of pipe. All right, so let's take a few notes. We have our longest piece, okay, we have our medium, and we have our shortest. Okay, so we know that our total, though, right, for this thing, our total length, it said we have a 66-inch height, so this is going to be a total of 66 inches. All right, the longest piece will be twice as long as the shortest piece. So I'm going to use a little S for that. So it's going to be twice as long as the shortest piece. So this is going to be 2S, right? And then it says that the medium-sized piece will be 6 inches longer than the shortest piece. So this one's going to be S plus 6, right? And I'll just use an S for this. I'm not a big fan of using S's, but I'll try to make it really look like the letter and not like a 5. So basically what this means is we can add these up, and it should equal 66. So we can write 2S plus, and that was our longest, so plus the medium, which is S plus 6, plus our shortest piece, which is just simply signified by S. And all this equals 66, right? So we can combine like terms. We got a 2S, we have an S, and we have an S. So that is a total of 4 S's, right? And that's plus 6 equals 66, right? So we're going to minus our 6, so we get 4S equals 60 now. And then we can divide it by 4 on each side, and we find out that S equals 15. So that's our shortest piece. And it does say just to find the length of the shortest piece. So it all just kind of worked out for it to be 15. And that concludes our first page. I'll do another video with our second page.